Guys, it's Jake, and today I'm going to be showing you my well, it's not really top 5 or top 6, it's just my favorite baits, episode about my favorite baits that I like to throw, my go-to baits, and so let's get started. And the first on my list of go-to baits is the Whopper Popper. This is a 7.5 inch, I believe, but this replaces like spooks and poppers, because you could use this like over submerged grass like you would on a spook, or you could throw this on like rocky points or just along the shoreline like you would a popper. So but they're really expensive. I'm pretty sure it was like 16 bucks for this one and 12 bucks for this one, I believe. But yeah, they're real expensive, but they work great, and the action on these things is awesome. These things it kind of sounds like a buzzbait, but it's compact, like a compact buzzbait. That's pretty much the gist of it. And plus, once you see, it's just so fun when you see a big bass come up and just take it down, just hammer it. So yeah, that's why the Whopper Popper is on my list. Alright, now we're gonna go to the Booyah frogs. I love using these things just because I get almost every hookup with these frogs. I don't know why. It's just with other frogs I can't get a single hookup, but ever since I switched to Booyah frogs, I've been getting 99% of my hookups, which is awesome. And I just love throwing these on mats and then seeing those big bass come and just eat them. That's the fun about it. Alright, and I also have all these different colors, which I don't really think it matters too much color, because it's something on top of the mat, right? And a bass comes and all he sees from under the mat is just something squirming up there, so he's gonna automatically just charge up and smash it. So I don't really think that colors matter unless you're fishing these in open water. Then that might matter, but yeah, that's it. Alright, let's move on to our next bait, which is this. I just have a Senko here, but any Texas rig plastic or wacky rig plastic, like here I have a Senko, I would throw any wacky or Texas rig plastic pretty much anywhere, just on rocky points, on under docks, on weeds, except not really in open water unless there's fish schooling out there or something. But yeah, that's why this bait is on my list. Also, it's fun when you just see your line just start going this way and you just slam the hook in them. That's pretty fun too. Alright, so our next bait in our list is on my favorite bait list is this is a Strike King Red Eye Shad. All of these are Strike King Red Eye Shads. And why these are on my list is you could fish these anywhere. You could fish these around docks, on deeper cover. You could let it sink down there and just slowly retrieve it. You could throw this on shorelines, around branches, but around branches on the shorelines is pretty good, around logs and timber and stuff like that, except you would get snagged up a lot. Like I already lost 2 of these this year, so that's the risk about them. But you do catch some big bass on these, and you could adjust how far down you want it to go by just letting it sink a lot and just reeling it slowly. So yeah, that's why these baits are on my list, and they catch big fish. So now we're on to our jigs. This is probably just compact into one. These are my flipping jigs and these are my football head jigs. So let's first get into our football head jigs. So the reason why I chose football head jigs is because you could flip these into the thickest, like fallen down tree or whatever, like right in the middle of it, and 95% of the time you would get these back, which is why what I love about these. So and especially when you flip in there and then you're just picking your rod up, picking it down, and you just feel that bite, that thud, and then you slam the hook in them and reel them out of that cover. That's the best. I love that feeling. Alright, so now onto our flipping jigs. We got, I forget which one this is, but I'm pretty sure these are 2 missile bait flipping jigs, which I think they are. And I think this is 2. These are all missile flipping jigs, let's just say. And I picked these because then again, you could flip these pretty much anywhere. Well, I like to I fish these on rocky points too, just like a little crawfish just crawling around. And I flip these under docks, on shorelines, anywhere these flipping jigs would be good. And the trailers I would use on these 2 is just pretty much any trailer, to be honest. Just anything that has a little action to it, because all the bass wants to feel is a little, what's it called? Just a little something on there, like a real bait fish would feel, and that would make them hold on to it longer, and it gives the bait better action. So any trailers like these would work. So or chunks, I should say. But yeah, that's it for the jigs. Alright, so now let's get on to my final favorite bait, is the Dropshot. And I picked this because you could fish this bait anywhere. I love this bait so much because you could fish this in weeds. Even though you would get weeds on the bait, you would still pull out some nice bass from weeds. And you could fish these on weed lines, docks. You could pitch these under docks. You could fish these on big humps out in the middle of the lake, and you would get bit every time. And now let's look at the hooks I use. So the first hook, the hook I use is the Finesse Wide Gap Gamakatsu hook. These have been treating me well, and I get most of my hookups on these hooks. So yeah, those are my hooks. And then for weights, it doesn't really matter what kind of weight you use. Like, just any drop shot weight is fine. Like, these are the Best Pro shops drop shot weights. These are okay. I mean, like, a lot of the times the thing, whatever you would call this, it's bent, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because all you're doing is sliding your line up to here. So yeah, and now let's get to the baits I like to use with the drop shot. So I like to use these finesse worms by Zoom, any finesse worm really, and I like to use these KVD Perfect plastics. I picked these up the other day and these been working good, so yeah. And I'm gonna show you how this works really for you guys that don't know how a drop shot rig works. So a drop shot rig is you have a hook above the weight and you rig your plastic like just like that through the nose, or you could take this and thread it like that, so the hook is just coming out of the worm just like that, which gives it a real natural action, like a little bait fish or something. And the bass generally like to eat that stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of my favorite baits. And the next episode I'm going to be doing is probably the $50 Walmart challenge or $20, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, sorry I couldn't get an episode out last week. I was just busy. I was fishing all the time. I actually got home 9 o'clock at night from fishing. And the other night got home at like 10 or something. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace.